With the Chicago Bulls starting off the season 3-0, the question is, are the Bulls proving AK's theory right if you need 8 to 10 really good players? We're going to talk a little bit about that. First, we're going to talk about the Bulls possibly becoming a free agent destination this summer and what needs to happen for that to go down. We're going to talk about all that and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. That's Pat the Designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. Pat, jump right into it today, man. The question that a lot of people are asking, I remember we talked about it. It was much aligned by a lot of pundits when AK said at last year after the season that he believes you need 8 to 10 really good players to be competitive in the NBA. A lot of people were like, I don't know about that. Now, I still think that it's an important distinction to make between contending and competing. You still need a star if you want to win a title. Yeah, there's a team every once in a while that wins a title without a true star. I still think you need a star to win a title, but this team and the competitive nature in which they fought with so far early in the season, Pat, do you feel like this could be a season in which it proves that AK theory right?
Let me read some names off for you so that y'all, because I don't think people remember this. And this is what we possibly are watching right now. Corey Brewer, Wilson Chandler, Kenneth Reed, Evan Fournier, Danilo Gallinari, Jordan Hamilton, Andre Iguodala, Kostas Koufos.
Oh, my God.
Ty Lawson, JaVale McGee, Andre Miller, Quincy Miller, no relation, Timofey Mozgov, Anthony Randolph, Julian Stone. Julian Stone did not play. We all know that. That team won 58 games.
That's crazy.
Did they win a championship? No. So the answer to the question is to accomplish what? To accomplish winning a championship, you need a superstar. To accomplish building a team that can be incredibly competitive, you can do it in this way. You have to have the right coach. You have to have the right system. And dare I say, maybe that team does win a championship if George Karl wasn't a head coach. George Karl, I mean, the more we find out about George Karl, the less I think he actually was a good coach and just found ways to win. Because they said that man didn't have a single out of bounds play. And at least Billy got one. He got that little pin down screen where you pop
this
up.
This season, Billy may have 2 or 3 of them.
Billy may have 3 now. Billy may be up to, dare I say, possibly up to 4. but no, that team lost in the Western Conference first round to the Golden State Warriors. It was an incredibly competitive team all year. I did not know Masai Ujiri was the executive there. Oh, shout out to that. Yeah. But and listen, if you don't run into the then Golden State Warriors, who are probably, that was the beginning step of them taking that next step, maybe that team goes further in the playoffs. In a beaten up Eastern Conference, could you see a team like that going further in the playoffs? But I still believe, at least for what it is right now, that you have to have a superstar to win a championship. You don't have to have a superstar to be incredibly competitive in the Eastern Conference. And it's what I talked about all preseason when people were looking at me crazy. And I was like, the Bulls will probably be a playoff team this year because I think they have the perfect team to be competitive. And with a team like that, remember, that's the year where Carmelo Anthony left. If you drop Carmelo Anthony on that team, they may go a heck of a lot further in the playoffs. And so I think, to me, for what you want to accomplish, this Bulls team, and what I think they want to accomplish right now is just getting back to relevancy. I don't think that, of course, everybody's trying to win a championship this year. Nobody's, right? The Charlotte Hornets ain't winning a championship. So getting back to relevancy is what the Bulls are trying to do right now. And I think that this is a team that can do it.
And I think it's important this season to be able to do that as well. And here's what I want to point out here is that with the Bulls having so much cap space and flexibility that they have this upcoming summer, which is going to lead when we get into the second segment, is that this is the season that you want to prove that you are a competitive team. And I think that again, I'm not saying that is enough if we're just around 45, 50 wins for 3 years. But I think specifically this season, if the Bulls can overachieve, if the Bulls can get it done, you Pat, yourself have said a lot that this team seems like a team that's going to be ready-made for a star to come here and take us over the top. If the Bulls can, still early on, prove that with 8 or 10 really good players, they can be competitive in the Eastern Conference, and you have $110 million in cap space in the offseason, who's to say that one player may not look at it and say, Cleveland, they're pretty much set. New York, do I really want to deal with that? Orlando, yeah, they're really good. Detroit, they're up and coming. That Bulls team, though. And you just never know, right?
Yeah.
You never know. And I think that's why it's important to prove that theory right this season, because all it takes is for one person to look at it and say, Matas, I believe he's going to be a star. He's not a star yet. Let me go ahead and hitch my wagon to the Chicago Bulls, because by the time we're halfway through my deal, this may be the guy that helps me have a nice leg on the last half of my season, something like of my career, something like that. So I think that so far is looking good. I think that the results are there. When you watch basketball, and just for objectively just watching the game of basketball, you see that this team is really getting it done as a team. That's what makes it exciting. That's what makes it, this team be as good as what they are. We of course got to play out the season and wait. But for what it's worth, when you have guys that are connected, guys that fit, and I think that's the thing. So often we forget that fit matters. We did not have a team that fit for 4 years. It didn't. Lonzo went down. That team never really quite fit together. Now you do have a team that fits. So now it makes building off of that easier as you go forward.
And listen, what I will say is this too, and where it gets tough, and again, superstar to me is for championship conversation. I don't think we're there yet. But
yeah.
Is there a superstar in the Eastern Conference right now?
A superstar. I mean, Giannis is still in the Eastern Conference. He's absolutely.
I give you Giannis. I give you Giannis. Donovan Mitchell is not a superstar.
Donovan Mitchell's a star, not
Donovan Mitchell's a star.
He's
not
a
superstar
for sure.
And I think they have a good team. I don't think.
I mean, and of course Boston, but Tatum's hurt.
Jason Tatum is their superstar. Jalen Brown, I think we kind of see it early on. Maybe got a little bit of Zach LaVine by.
You can't paint. We're finding that if you paint on your hairline, it ruins your superpower.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. Bro, did you see he called LeBron about the hairline treatment?
What?
He called LeBron on stream about the hair. I don't know if it's been funny or not, but he called him about the hairline treatment.
That is funny. I think, but I think in the Eastern Conference, you have a lot of players that look like they're becoming stars. Cade looks like he's becoming a star, right? Paolo it's been a rough start to the season for Paolo Banchero, though. So there you go. The Raptors are hoping Scotty Barnes is going to turn into a star.
Oh, hey, I saw a comparison yesterday, bro. This is not Locked On Magic, but I got to bring this to the forefront because I don't know if I agree with it, but I also can't disagree with it. Somebody said Paolo Banchero is modern era Josh Smith. Exactly. Exactly. Right. You don't agree. You're like, no, he's better than Josh Smith. But then it's kind of like the impact and what have you. Kind of like he might be Josh Smith.
I think the key is modern Josh Smith. I see where they're going with that,
bro. Because I watched the Magic and I was like, I thought the Magic were going to be a whole different team with Desmond Bane. The Magic are still just the Orlando Magic.
You know what it is?
And they added Desmond Bane. Like that's literally all the team looks like.
The thing is, they added Desmond Bane, who has been an excellent 3-point shooter over his career.
Phenomenal.
I think people have to at some point you got to realize it's your friends, it's the city, it's in the water, whatever it is. It's something there that's like the moment you go. KCP was supposed to be a good 3-point shooter. He got there, he couldn't hit anything.
Hey, bro, it's some shooting coach down there be like, see, the problem is while you got this perfect jump shot, you gotta untuck that elbow. Just untuck that elbow.
The shooting coach version of Ace Bailey's agent,
bro. He just down there, just in that coat, Yeah, see what you got to do, brother. You got to untuck that elbow, brother. That's the thing. You got to untuck that elbow. Anyway, back. Back to this Bulls team. That was hilarious.
Did you just have that there ready? Like what?
It was a blanket. It was a blanket. You got a couch down here. I sleep on the couch sometimes. Like,
that's crazy.
Sometimes you ain't never just slept in the studio and you just pop up and drop some news.
Yeah, I actually slept in the studio a couple of weeks ago because I knew I was gonna, like, we finished recording. It was like after a game. We finished at like 2 a.m. and I knew I was gonna have to be up at 6 to record. I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna sleep down here.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah. But no, getting back into the Bulls on this, the one thing I will say is I think this is the reason I brought up the superstar conversation. I think this is a great time for you to be this kind of team. It's not going to be that forever, but I think it's a great time for you to be this kind of team where everyone is trying to develop who their superstar is outside of, like you said, the Milwaukee Bucks have Giannis. You just got to do a good job of developing somebody into a superstar. It don't look like it's going to be Noah Essengay at all this season. I mean, I saw some practice footage. I was like, he's got a long way.
You know what made me realize he's going to spend a lot of time in Windy City? They showed the little preview of the Windy City Bulls in G League season starting, and Noah, they flashed a dunk of Noah in Summer League. I was like, that tracks. Yeah, but
a lot of time down.
But next time we're going to be talking about how the Bulls can lure free agents in the summer. I have 3 things that I think need to happen for the Bulls to lure free agents in the summer. But first, we got to get into a message from one of our sponsors, and that is Quo. One of the tools that help make a huge difference for business owners is Quo, formerly OpenPhone. It's the same great business phone system you've heard me talk about before, just with a new name. And here's why it matters. Every missed call is money left on the table. When every customer conversation counts, you need a phone system that keeps you connected 24/7. Quo is the #1 business phone system that streamlines customer communication. It works right through an app on your phone or computer. So no more carrying 2 phones or relying on a landline. I love how Quo, formerly as OpenPhone, lets your team share one number and collaborate on calls and texts like a shared inbox so no customer gets left hanging. Whether you're a solo operator juggling everything or part of a larger team, Quo makes it easy to stay responsive and professional. See why over 90,000 businesses trust Quo, formerly OpenPhone. Get started free and get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/lockedonnba. That's QUO.com/lockedonnba. And if you got existing numbers with another service, Quo will port them over at no extra charge. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. I also got to talk to you guys about Rippling. If you're a business owner, here's the truth. SaaS promised to make work easier, but now the average company is buried by hundreds of apps that slow down your teams and simply don't work together. That's not SaaS, that's SAAD, software as a disservice. That's why you need Rippling. Rippling is the unified platform for global HR, payroll, IT, and finance all in one place. They've helped millions of businesses replace a mess of connected tools with one system designed to give leaders clarity, speed, and control. What I love about Rippling is how it removes the bottlenecks and busy work that slow teams down. Everything from onboarding to payroll to IT access runs automatically and perfectly in sync. It's seriously simple to use and gives company one source of truth for their people, data, and everything they touch. Whether you want to run your entire HR, IT, and finance operations as one, or just fill in the gaps in your software stack, Rippling can do all that. As of right now, you can get 6 months free when you go to rippling.com/lockedonnba. Learn more at rippling.com/lockedonnba. That's rippling.com/lockedonnba for 6 months free. More Locked On Bulls coming up next. All right, Pat. So, I have this theory, right? Because there's lots been made about the Bulls in the summer of 26 and them getting free agents. And I think whether it's restricted free agents, unrestricted free agents, you have to have your franchise in a certain place to be able to attract free agents. I think the first thing is you have to be either a winning team or a team that looks like it's on the rise and up and coming. We'll see if the Bulls can prove that this year. 2, you have to have a player or players that teams around the league want to come play with. I guess we're proving that too. Maybe that could be Matas. Maybe that can be Josh Giddey, Trey Jones, whatever it is. 3, I think you have to have a front office or coaching staff that players are going to believe in, are going to put you in the right situations to be able to win basketball games. Hey, Pat, what do you think about that list of 3 things? Do you think that's legitimate? What do you think's missing? And do you think how many of those can the Bulls prove this year to try to lure free agents this summer?
I think the list is legitimate. I'll be honest with you, bro. I think the one thing the Bulls, and dare I say sports teams around this city need to do. I don't know when it happened, but I think the country really don't know Chicago is dope.
Yeah.
Chicago is getting terrible PR. Like, especially, of course, with all the stuff politically going on. But, like, Jeff Teague was talking about Chicago and was like, nah, people around the league really think Chicago is, like, just guns and bullets, and you'll die out there if you sign there. Like, that's a real thing that an NBA player that had an opportunity to sign here has said. Like,
I think it also doesn't hurt.
And he's from Indiana.
His brother was here too, and
well, that also plays into it too. Like, and we know where Marcus was, but no, like, I think the biggest thing that all these teams need to do is like re-PR Chicago, which is something I never thought we'd have to say about the city, but like the amount of people that are just now realizing downtown Chicago is amazing, which is kind of where you're going to be more than likely if you live here, probably somewhere on that west side, or maybe western suburbs or something like that. Like, it's kind of crazy to say, but I think that's one of the bigger keys to getting people to want to be here. But I think to all the points she said, listen, the excitement right now around a young Bulls team, you can't try and pull on Jordan heartstrings anymore. I think that's the one thing we got to get away from.
That's a fact. That's
the biggest thing. I get it. He's doing this stuff right now. Like, most of these kids didn't see Jordan. The ones that did see Jordan and are excited to buy Jordan, right? Anthony Edwards, he ain't coming here right now. He's set. His contract is lit right now. And he's got a team that is always going to be competitive. So to me, I don't think you're in a position to go get one of those guys. I guess in 2 years, there's a couple of names that are coming off. Summer 26, right? That's the big plan. But I'm more excited about, like we're going to talk about, I'm more excited about the draft class than I am the free agency in the summer of 26.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're getting at with that. Like, I'm still, there are some free agents that definitely can help. I want to be clear here. Jalen Duren, we already know that the Pistons aren't going to be re-signing him. Probably. Walker Kessler is going to be there. Mark Williams, I would be interested in Mark Williams, but only in the sense that it would have to be, you still are looking for your center of the future, just bringing him in here for a style of center, but you're not betting on him. He just hasn't been healthy enough for me to be willing to bet on him for that. So there are some that I definitely would be interested in that sense, but I think at the same time, you got the money, do you have the situation? Do you have the path to do that? That's going to be the question that the Bulls are going to have to ask themselves, man. And we shall see. We shall see what happens there. I always think this. The Bulls are a young team. If Vooch wasn't on this team, even if you replace Vooch with somebody who was 28 or younger, the Bulls would be the second youngest team in the league, only second to the Brooklyn Nets. And they just drafted 5 rookies. That's why they're the youngest team in the NBA. So I do think that if this team can win, like we talked about, can prove that they can win this season, I do think all you need is one. I do think they could be one that looks at it and says, hey, that situation in Chicago, maybe I don't sign the full 5 years. Maybe it's a 2+1. But let's see what we can do.
Yeah, listen, I would be intrigued by that. To me, I think that some of the names that are out there, like you mentioned, I mean, and the names that aren't technically out there that may actually be out there, I think of Jonathan Kuminga. He still doesn't want to be in Golden State, right? Cam Thomas is a name. Again, I don't think those are the superstar pieces that you need, but can you land a solid free agent? I think that there's an opportunity for that.
Great.
And when you talk about landing solid free agents, when you talk about landing guys who, kind of already understand their role, I think to me, that opportunity is there for this Bulls team, especially at, like you said, some key positions. Maybe we do hold on to Vooch. Maybe we do, keep rolling with Zach Collins. We'll see kind of what that dynamic looks like once Zach gets healthy here in a couple more weeks. But, I think there's better names out there that you could be interested in. It's just a matter of making the contract work and making it fit to where it makes sense for the team. That again, to me, Jonathan Kuminga on this team right now would be a nightmare. The ball movement that this team has is phenomenal. You got to fit into that dynamic as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's the thing that I think the Bulls really do have to focus on is fit. Still has to be at the forefront of whatever the Bulls do. Like
No.
you cannot ruin the chemistry that you've built here. And I get it. I know we haven't accomplished anything yet. I'm not saying that we have, but you cannot risk that and what you're building to get a piece in here that doesn't fit. And hopefully they've learned their lesson from that, because that's part of what derailed the last version of this team.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see if we can make that work as we get ready to get into this final topic, talking about the 2026 draft class. And dare I say, Haize, I may have a bit of a hot take on that. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We got to get into an ad read from our sponsors over at Peloton. Before we do that, though, Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with a brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move. Whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructions, this is training reimagined. Peloton is breaking through. Peloton is built for breakthroughs. Reading would help, with tools that help you stay motivated and reach peak performance. And the one thing that I love about Peloton is the IQ system offers real-time strength coaching. It actually tracks your reps, suggests the right weights, and corrects your form, making every rep safer and smarter. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward, exploring the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. More Locked On Bulls coming up next.
It's that mouse theory. All right, Pat. So I know this is way too early. And what got me started on this is the fact that the 2025 draft class looks great. I know our own 2025 draft pick, Noah Essengate, hasn't checked in, but there have been a lot of players. Our boy Cedric Coward. Bro.
Don't do this to me.
Bro. Could you imagine what if
it might be Aaron Donald, Kyle Fuller, bro.
Could you imagine if right now our starting lineup, even when Kobe's back, was Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Cedric Coward, Matas Buzelis?
Oh, I can imagine. You don't know why I can imagine? Because right now, Cedric Coward's probably your starting two.
Oh, bro. One pick, bro. One pick. We can't even blame AK on missing on that one, though.
And
right?
Because of go ahead. Introduce the topic. My fault.
No, I introduced the topic. But anyway.
Oh my God.
Bro.
Oh, by the way, we always focus on Walker Kessler. You know who went after Walker Kessler?
Who?
Christian Brown.
Oh, I'm not. I mean, okay.
Over Jalen Terry?
I mean, no, not that. But I mean, he's a 2. Like, I can understand why they weren't necessarily. Well, I guess Dalen is a 2. Like, anyway, 2026 draft class, Pat. Just a little primer before we all get started there. Who are some of the people that you're looking at early on in this draft class? Let's stake our claim early on this draft class in 2026.
If it ain't a boozer, you tweaking.
Realistically, where the Bulls are probably going to be drafting.
No, and this is what I mean. We're talking about this team as a team that needs a star. We're talking about this team as a team that is built. Go get a star. Go get a star. Find a way to trade up and go get a star. Put yourself in that spot.
But you're not going to trade into the top 3 to draft Bulls. We don't have the assets nor the roster to trade into the top 3.
You got to find a way to make deals, backdoor deals. You have to find a way. And I'm not saying top 3. Now, Boozer is different, right? Boozer is top 3. But I think you need to be in the top 5 to 7 in this draft. And I think this is going to be a deep enough draft where you'll still be talking about some guys being on the board there. Dog, like the Cedric Coward situation of it to me, and that was one spot. I was like, he's falling. Nobody's grabbing him. It's one spot. Don't take a chance that you're going to miss this kid. Or just take the freaking pick that you could have got from Lonzo Ball. But I digress.
I mean, had we traded Lonzo to Memphis, that would have been our pick.
I know. I know. Oh,
we could have technically we could have had Cedric Coward and Noah Essengate.
They would have drafted another French dude. They wouldn't have drafted Cedric Coward anyway. But you're in a position now, and I think, listen, I know people are going to say it's only 3 games. This is a continuation of what we saw in the second half of last season.
Yeah, I mean, they have picked up right where they left off last season.
This may be who this team is.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a star away, what's the better situation? You go out and put yourself in cap hell, and you try to go out and grab a superstar that's already established in the league, or you find a young player that looks like he has a ton of upside. Now, you can't miss.
That's
but you give away some of that draft capital of the future to go get one of those players.
See, and the thing is, I like to look at the positions of need, right? Like, if the Bulls are still committed to this, well, not still, if the Bulls truly are committed to Noah and Matas are going to be our forwards of the future, that means that takes forward off the board. There's only one center in this draft that's going in the top 10, and that's Chris Sinak Jr., I believe is how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Out of Houston, 6'10", 230 pounds. Pat, if it comes down to it, the Bulls' own pick, the Portland pick, maybe a protected. Is that what you're willing to do to move into the top 10 in this draft?
100%. And I think here's the thing that you can't. I guess point guard is the one position where I would say if you're very comfortable with where you're at with Josh Giddey, that's the one spot you don't do anything for. But remember, we didn't go get Tyrese Halliburton in that draft because. And the Bulls reportedly liked Tyrese Halliburton a lot. Told Tyrese Halliburton, we really like you.
That was that 1 year. Had we just not fired, we just delayed firing Gar one more year.
Yeah, we had Gar one more year. We 100% get him. But we had a point guard already. Don't let we have somebody stop you from going to get the guy.
True, but Pat, we know what he became. Nobody was viewing Halliburton as even potential to be the guy. They viewed him to be that he had potential to be a really good player. But generally, not many people projected him to be what he turned into.
Well, I think the thing for me is you projected him to be even the Bulls, an incredibly solid point guard.
Yeah, for sure.
You projected Kobe to be a scoring guard.
Yeah.
And you thought that was the path, that was the way him and Zach LaVine together, that was the dynamic that you wanted to see. Now you see like even if you had him at the point guard, you have Tyrese Halliburton, you move Kobe over to the 2, you had Zach at the 3, you had Zach playing the 3 anyway.
Here goes the $1 million question, Pat. What if it meant trading Matas?
Hey, I like Matas a lot. I'm very high on Matas. But if you feel like there's a player, if you feel like there's any chance for you to get Cameron Boozer, or there's any chance for you to get a someone who is that next level of player, I don't think you're in a spot where you can just say no to that. I love Matas. I think Matas is going to be incredibly talented. I think the benefit that we have at this time is we can see kind of where the rest of this season is going to go. And so we'll see kind of the development of Matas.
See, the place that I get what you're saying. Like if you truly do see somebody has true superstar potential and you have a chance to go get them, I'm not mad at like I can never be mad at that. But it better work out like you said.
Hey, you can't miss. You can't miss.
I think for me, when you look at the history, and we were talking about this in the Discord. If you look at the history, typically some of the best centers in the league really come from players that weren't projected to go in the top 10. So if the Bulls are focused on getting center, I'm fine with that, right? Because I think people make so much about, well, was he top 10? When you go look at it, some of the most heralded picks as centers ended up not working out, whether it be because of injury or lack of progression or whatever else it is. Some of the best and most consistent centers around the NBA are players that weren't drafted in the top 10. So I'm kind of comfortable with where the Bulls are because I do believe in what they're building here as far as a core. If you just go out, I just want to see what this team looks like with a center. But I mean, your logic, I can't be mad at. Like, if you truly see somebody having transcendent skill that takes your team over the top, I could never be mad at you being aggressive about going out and getting that guy. I just don't know if AKs would do something like that realistically.
Well, and the fear is that you miss, right? The fear, but like I think that fear stopped you from making moves to get more draft capital in this draft, whether you go Cedric Howard or not. There was no way you thought more draft capital in the 2025 draft was bad. Unless you're Arturas Karnisovas. Then you were like, whoa, more picks in this draft, I'm good. Meanwhile, me and you are coming here every day, sitting here giving Muggs a litany of players like, yo, these guys might be players at the next level. Looks like every one of them is going here.
Honestly, and I get it that trading Lonzo allows you to keep trade, right? But you were going to do that regardless. I don't understand the logic in Memphis saying we want Lonzo and you looking at that and saying no. For a first round, unprotected first round pick. It made no sense to not take that move. That's the type of misses that AK has, that it's just like, as much as we can defend like the team being solid, 8 to 10 players, Matas looking like he's going to work out. We'll see what happens with Noah. But it's those little moves that could take your team over the top. Because as it stands right now, I'd rather have Cedric Howard on this team than Isaac Okoro. Either way, you're getting Trey Jones back.
Bro, you said no to Lonzo and they got a better player. You said no to trading them Lonzo Ball.
Team regret you passing up on a trade with them, not to make them be like, oh, thank God the Bulls didn't take their trade offer.
God, they didn't give us Lonzo Ball. We almost effed up. Oh my God, bro. And so like that's my thing with this, right? Like I think there's some really good players that you can look at. Of course, the Boozers are probably the big names, but I mean, even if you talk about a Caleb Williams out of North Carolina, I like some of what he's showing early on. I think he's got a ton of upside potential. If you're talking about a Mikal Brown, no, because he's more of a point than a 2. So probably not a Mikal Brown. But either way, like there's a ton of talent in this 2026 draft yet again. And
you remember when the 2025 draft, because again, people believe so much in like what the media tells them, they started saying, oh, well, this draft isn't really as deep as they initially thought.
So stupid, bro. It's so stupid, bro. Draft was deep.
Knew that me and Pat were telling y'all the draft was deep a year before that draft. Anyway.
We gotta come back tonight for a game. Let's go ahead and get stressed. Hey man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. The Nets ain't even using Danny Wolf. Go get him. Can you trade for a draft pick that early?
Yeah.
Nets ain't even using Danny Wolf. But no, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer.
You guys can follow me at CEO Haize. Locked On Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, the Odyssey app, Amazon Fire TV, Roku TV, and Fubo TV. Basically, anywhere you want us, you can get it. We'll see you guys bright. We'll see you guys late tonight after the game, y'all. Peace.
Anywhere you want us, you can get it, as long as it's not 9th overall in the draft.